Hi everyone, this is Angie Wong and I'm president of Legacy Pack. I just want to thank all of our followers. We're close to 100,000 followers on Facebook and we've only been around for a few short months. So thank you again. I'm going to ask you for your continued support leading up to 2024. Please donate to legacy-pac.org. That's legacy-pac.org. Thank you, and we'll see you on the campaign trail.
I'm Jared Craig here on behalf of the Vet Voice, and I have the pleasure of introducing candidate Mike Corbin, who is running for Georgia's 7th Congressional District and who Georgia's Veterans for Trump and Veterans for America First is proud to announce for his race. So, Mike, I appreciate you coming on the show. Tell the viewers a little bit about yourself and what motivated you to run for office this year.
Yeah, Jared, appreciate you having me on and awesome. Very excited to have the endorsement. Huge. So I appreciate it. And yeah, uh, it, when I first ran in 2020, when I first announced in 2020 to run 2022, it was really just out of my own conviction, for the country, right? We were at a time of a lot of turmoil coming out of COVID. Obviously, an election that stunk in a lot of different ways, and just a divided country. So, I
And the
looked at my
summer of love. You can't forget about the summer of love.
yeah, exactly. With a lot of riots, and I mean, it was just a crazy time, right, in America. And I kind of sat down and thought about it, and it wasn't something that I have ever really set out to do. But I said, get off the sidelines, right? Do something. Stop complaining. Everybody sits around and complains. I'm able-bodied. I'm able-minded. I've lived in the district. I know the district, and this is something you can do. And I think we need more people stepping up to do it. It kind of helps, get the establishment out of the position that they're in. And there's a lot of people out there that want to vote for candidates that take a stand, that want to actually be a representative of their district and not just somebody there to make money and be a career politician. So I took the leap, didn't have any experience. I do have a background in political science. I graduated in 2003 from the University of Georgia in political science and international affairs. So I have studied it, but I've never put it into practice. Like yourself, you went forward and went to law school. I did not. I was a political science background because I actually wanted to go to law school, but ended up going to the corporate world. So I've spent about 20 years in telecommunications business and business development. So that's where I'm at now. But my passion is for the country and my district, and to make sure that the things that we're seeing out there today change. It goes back to the America where America is first in everything we do and everything that we say as politicians, as leaders. We eat, breathe, and sleep that. That's what we should be thinking.
Well, I think that one thing that you said, I think will sit well with the voters, that you came from a functional industry that worked to build a profit. You're in IT, correct? All right.
Correct. Yep.
Industry that has a purpose. How many of our politicians, talk about career politicians, have never had a job in their life, including our current commander in chief, Joe Biden? I think the last time he had a job with a private company, it was at that pool where he was dealing with Cocoa Pop or whatever the guy's corn pop was. So I think it's meaningful to the voters to understand that you're coming off the sidelines, but you weren't just sitting on the sidelines. You've been working on the sidelines.
Yeah, working on the sidelines and seeing the reality of what happens when policies are made in DC that hurt not only individuals and families but also corporations. There are just reverberating effects that these policies have that politicians don't know because they've never really been in a corporate America or in a position where you have to actually grow a business or an entire business unit. And now you're struggling because of some pressures that are put on you that don't really need to be put on. So it does give you more experience, okay, when you actually get into Congress of, okay, how would I actually do this? How would this actually impact business? whether it was large business, corporate America, or small business. How do we affect in a positive way to make sure that they're enabled to, create jobs, create good wages, and be able to create prosperity in America rather than just continuing to enable people, which is, a lot of what the left is traditionally done. So you do see it, and we do need more politicians that have actually lived it, felt it, and understand how those policies impact Americans and obviously companies.
Well, one thing I think we touched on is term limits, and I've looked into your website, I've done some homework, and understand that you're a big proponent of term limits to kind of counteract the effect of career politicians. Now, looking at your platform, I understand you have a three-pronged platform that you've characterized as faith, freedom, and facts. And I jokingly said three things that the mainstream media don't want, or the left doesn't want anything to do with. So, could you expound on your platform with those pillars, if you would?
Yeah, faith is something that's near and dear to me. I'm a Christian, practicing Christian, and one thing that I feel that we've lost in this nation is our faith, right? And it can't be underestimated that we're one nation under God, and each year, I would say each day that we go by in this country, we're losing that. And without faith in God, and if we don't have leaders that have faith in God, we can't have faith in our country. So I'm never going to stop fighting the good fight to keep God at the top of our priorities, not only my own personal life, but also this nation. If we don't have God as the cornerstone, at all times, then it has no meaning, right? And we live in a world of chaos. So that faith, and really starts with God, and then it will trickle down into the people that obviously men are men, and humans do fail, but they have to have a level of faith and accountability to a higher purpose than to just themselves, obviously, and to them, and to the to whoever it is that they're trying to coddle to. So faith is huge for me. Freedom. We talked about career politicians, and career politicians don't create freedoms because they want to be able to control. We need to have people that want to create policies that allow you to have more freedoms as individuals. And that's something that is also continuing to decline. I think that's no secret to anybody. And that is something that I'm going to, in anything that I do when it comes to legislation, is always think about, does this increase the freedom of an American, the average American, or does this give government more control? And if the answer is it gives government more control, but I benefit from it, it's not the right thing. But if you're a career politician, you don't care. It's going to be a long fight to get career politicians out from where they're at today. But the more people like myself and yourself get voted into office that are like-minded, they'll term limit themselves, and I have faith in that. Right now, it's hard to ask people to basically cap their career and their almost uncapped earnings as legislators that are there today. And the average, I want to say it's about 18 years, and the average, to at least the tenure, then the average age is a little over 60, about 61 years old. So it is a problem. But again, that leads to lack of freedom. And then facts. We must hold firm and facts over fear. That means holding the government accountable, and it means holding the media accountable. Too much, people are pushing fear over facts, and facts are very hard to get these days, with everything that happens within technology, with what's being, and we can talk about this later, but Section 230 is very near and dear to me, and is something that is one of the biggest things that I think is a threat to our sovereignty. But facts are just being blurred more and more as social media and big tech take over and tell you what is fact, what is media, what is the truth. And there's not actual true news stories out there anymore.
Well, I think that you hit the nail on the head. We need to turn our country back from the trajectory that it's been on. Talking about faith, without faith, people are miserable. And that's what I'm seeing on the left. The other thing I'm seeing on the left is they have no principles. And the only principles they have are ours that they tend to enforce against us, while they seemingly are immune to any principle or other side or otherwise some sort of social norm enforcement. And freedom, you're also right on line. They want to shut you down. Freedom is they're fearful of your freedom. They don't want us to be individuals. They want us to be cogs in a machine. And I think that goes against most of our faith as individual salvation, individual freedoms. And then the facts. I think if we were to have gone back in time 5 years, we wouldn't believe what we're looking at now as the fact police or the ministry of was it the ministry of truth that we've been referring to Biden's administration putting forth and hiding the actual facts by the tyrannical collusion between the social media giants. So, Mike, District 7, explain to our viewers where in Georgia that is.
So District 7, after the redistricting in 2022, is for the most part Gwinnett County, extending over from Johns Creek all the way over to about Loganville. And it extends far north of about Swanee. Swanee's the cutoff point. Swanee's actually in the 6th district. So it's actually a very small geographical area, but a high population, over about 1 million residents in that area. So there's a lot of voters there. It's one that's very important to the Democrats as well.
Well, take advantage of a smaller district with the gas prices the way they are.
That's right.
I had a 15 county district, and I think I should have ended up probably buying a new vehicle by now. But if people wanted to get on board and join your team or donate or learn more about your campaign, where would they go, and how could they, or what kind of help do you need right now?
Right now, funding obviously is always crucial. That's something that you and I were talking about earlier that came up a little bit light, obviously, in a runoff, and hopefully look to avoid the runoff this year in the primary to go up against Lucy McBath. But any type of funding obviously is always appreciated. And I'm on Win Red, and you can find that on my website as well. And then as the months go by and coming up closer to the actual primary, physical hands, right, to get out signs, to not as big of a geographical area as you have, but just getting out there, spreading the message, knocking doors, putting out signs, and helping out with time, because time is also a valuable resource, especially this day and age, and it's a blessing to have anybody help you. Whether it's financial or time, it's always welcome. But yeah, you can go on my website, which is www.corbin, that's the number 4 congress.com. Twitter, that's at Corbin4, the number 4 congress.com. Or you can look me up on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, which is corbinforcongress.com as well. There's a little theme there.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, and we're proud to endorse you. And I ask all Georgia 7 voters, put your money where your mouth is, put your money where your heart is, and put your money where your vote is. We need people like Mike Corbin in the U.S. House of Representatives. And without your vote, without your donations, it's going to be very difficult to get there.
Thank you very much, Jared.
So we know the issues, we know about energy, we know about the border, we know Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing. We know all that, we get all that, but why do this? Why do this here tonight with Legacy PAC? Because there's a whole lot of people who have the passion to save this country who need help getting off the ground.
The purpose of Legacy PAC is to save America. That's our mission. That's what we really want to do, because America is worth saving.
We support the next generation of conservative leaders. We just want good, solid patriots. They're not embedded in like the establishment.
I am a political outsider. I am by trade, I'm a cybersecurity engineer. Okay, so this is my first run in politics. We need more conservative Republicans standing up and fighting for the Constitution.
We're an America First PAC, and we want to promote and help our up-and-coming candidates, and we're going to be holding the line for President Trump.
I joined the Army at 17 years old. My first day at my first unit, which was 25th Infantry, was September 10th, 2001. So the next day was 9/11. And I spent about a total of a decade between Iraq and Afghanistan in country. So my country means everything to me. When I realized that if people like myself who don't want to be politicians don't start stepping up and taking these seats, that nothing's going to change, then I said, okay, I'll do it.
Who deserves to lead the people of this country more than those who serve this country? So I'm behind every one of them. So let's make sure we get more veterans into power. I'm all for it.
Remember why you're involved. We have to make sure people remain humble and not engage in self-glorification. You are here for one reason, and that is to save the country. Period, end of story.
And for those candidates who are looking uphill and wondering how, keep your head down, focus on the target, and outwork everybody. And I promise you, you're not gonna lose. You're either gonna win on election night or you change the game on election night. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Legacy PAC.